Hey guys, good morning. Scott here, Pine Barren Craftsman. It's about, 6 o'clock in the morning, 5:45. Just putting on my socks for the day. So this video, man, very vivid dream. I want to talk about my experience this morning that I had. Sometimes I wake up, I feel like I just started a dream and it was only asleep for a couple seconds. I slept deep. I dreamt about a gentleman that was in my life that it was a point of great turmoil I had while I was an employee of a certain state job I've talked about in the past. And this gentleman, it made it his job to, maybe look after the company, maybe to be an informant, maybe to be a rat, maybe to be a buster, ball buster. Taking it to the new guys and the old guys, and just trying to just raise hell, get under people's skin. And maybe one way or another, he was trying to push us as younger guys in our late 20s, early 30s, or mid 30s to grow up and be the men from that other generation. And, trying to sniff out shortcomings, right? Trying to get people in trouble, right? So one of the main reasons why I left the job was because there was a point there where I was just at a breaking point with several things, but that was, I think, the head of the whole thing. The point of everything was based on, this guy. And I walked out. I gave my 2 weeks notice, I think right before Christmas. I think I was leaving like the day before Christmas. That was my last day. It was a great moment. It was uplifting. I felt liberated. I felt free. And I've talked about it, but I have not discussed my hand in it and how some of it was put on by myself, and it was warranted. And special treatment, not really. I don't think I was specially treated, but there were some things that I didn't want to do in the job, and I made it known to the rest of the group that it's just not something I want to deal with. It's running a vac truck or being the guy at the end of the stick poking a turd, It's hard for me to get around that, and part of the camaraderie is to do that and to jump in there. And I did later at a different location. I got my payback for being such a, prima donna at the first place. And I'm being honest, a lot of the other guys called me out on it. I was like, we're all fighting for what we want. And there wasn't much money at the place. So it was more like, what title can we at least say we had and what could we call ourselves? Story goes, though, he passed away. I don't know if it was a couple weeks after he had a stroke. So I had a big argument with him. I said some things I didn't mean. I slammed some doors, and it was the point when I decided I'm done with this place. I'm going to quit. It took out a lot of the anger. For the whole 10 years, I was almost there for 10 years. All the aggression on pretty much that point. I think that the topic was flushing. I didn't want to have to flush at 3 a.m. when I was on call for other issues. I felt that was a little bit ridiculous that somebody could have to go to work, which is a dangerous job that I was doing, working around high voltage and amperage and hanging over big holes in the ground that I could just fall in if I was not at my top. I mean, trip and fall, or get hit. You could hit your head on something. It's just a lot of things that we are around. We're going into confined spaces. And in the safety classes, they talked about doing things a certain way. And if it didn't happen in the field, it was a point of contention for me, and I spoke up about it. So for me to come in and flush fire hydrants from 2 in the morning till 5, and then be on call maybe the night before and get called out at midnight, you end up not sleeping. And this happens a lot. Like guys would just be those cowboy heroes that want to, and girls would want to be there when the call came in and save the day and put out the fire of sewage flowing down the hill, quote unquote. We used to call them fire drills or whatever. So the whole point of this, I'm trying to bring out this video, is dreaming about him last night, and I wake up to this beautiful moon setting, red moon setting. So this guy had passed away from an illness that was sudden, and it was right after I fought with him. A couple days after, I think I heard the news, and I always felt guilty about that. Like maybe all the stress that I put on, and maybe the point of what he was trying to do was trying to help in some way, trying to make it fair so other guys didn't say, hey, this guy's getting special treatment because he's making it stink. Like I was causing problem. I could have just been one of the guys and blended. But I was never a team player. I was never cut out to be on this big team, kind of loner. I always felt like I was getting abused, which in a lot of ways I was. But at the same time, other people get abused too. And it doesn't make it any worse. So I'm basically saying that this morning when I'm watching that moon set and thinking about this guy, it kind of came over to me like, I got to let it go for his sake and let him move on because he's not with us anymore. And I don't want to hold him back for maybe if there's another world after this, another life, if he's hanging back because maybe some other stresses that he had. But I know I was holding a lot of resentment and wow, powerful. Like, don't curse the dead. Don't hate the dead. Don't carry on. I never was happy he passed away, but I never released him of his and I issue. I held it like he was still alive, and just if I see him again, I'm going to give him a dirty look, and I'm not going to talk to him. Real embarrassed about that, and embarrassed about maybe the way that I acted leading up to it. Maybe deserved it. I've never admitted that to anybody ever, including my wife or myself. But you got to let things go. And I'm having this channel and I'm telling people to let things go and don't debate and soften your heart and don't be on one side of the argument. And I got to take that medicine, and it's what I feel. It's what's the right thing to say and what's the right thing to do. So I did my heart today. I forgave him, and if he's still hanging around somewhere, just let him go. At least my part. If there's others that are holding, maybe he needs to get through that stuff too, but I don't know what I believe. This sounds like some, spiritual stuff, and it came over me today. So as the moon sets, I said, I forgive you. Rest in peace, buddy. I'm sorry for my part, and move on. This might be pretty intense, but it's the truth. It goes along with everything I'm trying to raise my son with. And being really heavy on my shortcomings with certain things are easy to hate or easy to change or easy to complain about myself. There's some deeper ones that some people don't want to look at about themselves. There's a lot of things I hold on to, I realize too. Ex relationships about how I was treated. Love relationships. You gotta let things go, you could say, whatever, it's over. I got a nice life, and I do. But the hatred or the resentment or the upsetment about like, hey, how could they have done this? How could she have done this to me? How could that person have done that? You got to let it go. There's family that are still around today that I hold grudges about little things that happened, and I can't. I got to let it go. I feel lighter. The grudges are not there holding them down. Maybe they're holding me down. You know, maybe this is a reminder from the gentleman for me to let it go. And maybe it's not even this otherworldly him holding him back. Who knows? I just know enough that I should say it. And I felt it, right? And it feels pretty good. So I'm promising myself not to speak ill again of this gentleman or anybody else that I have issue with. Just try to let it all go. The biggest gripe I think I have is trying to understand somebody else's actions. Take that from their personality, from where they're from, I don't know, and take that and put it into my mind and try to think about how could they treat these people like. It's not for me to understand, and we shouldn't do that. It goes with everything, you know. Why'd that guy quit the job? Why'd she say that? Why'd he do that? How come he's treating me this way? It's been in my life with little apostrophe S's or little question marks. Wherever you see like a question mark in a typical paragraph, there's been somebody here and there with this punctuation in my life to just do something that really irks me. It's not consistent. It's not the rest of the whole story. It's just these little points. And I hold on to them because they bother me. They bother me for the understanding. The anger and the hurt, that fades quickly. But mulling it over stays with me. Why did he do that? I had his reasons. I have my reasons. And I can be perceived any way that someone wants to. So you could be perceiving me this way right now, and I can't change that. And that's on you to deal with. Just like it's on me to deal with this guy. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this speaks to your heart. And if you have some, I guess, ill will towards someone that's still here or moved on to another life or into the darkness, to let it go while you're here. It's not worth it. It's obviously bothering me, right? A lot of this channel talked about this stuff, and I want to let that go because I think it's done its purpose. Help somebody in an unhealthy environment make the right decision and to move on or to fix it or to change it now in themselves. This is the ending of this, I guess, confession. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys got something out of it. Stay tuned. There's going to be some fun videos coming. We're trying to wait for this snow to get out of here. But if you ever get a chance to see the moon set, it's pretty good, man. At the right time of the morning, where it's dark enough to see it bright, and it has like a red color. And there's like this, I don't know, blue hue, dark blue color of the whole world right now with the snow. It was pretty amazing to wake up right from my bedroom window. I don't deserve it.